don't like it. Can we try a higher dose or a lower dose? I know specifically what the side effects are.
So we have all kinds of diseases. You know, alcohol is probably the premier disease in our community, and yet people are able to function. People are able to function with use of certain drugs.
Yep.
Are people able to function in a normal environment with mental illness?
Absolutely. There's millions of us thriving every single day. I'm a prime example of that. I mean, I have my times where I'm off and I'm not able to do certain things. But for the most part, I believe that if you go seek help, professional help. For me, I have my doctors, I have my therapist, I have my counselor, I have my change in diet. I take my medicine when I'm supposed to. I've been experiencing now with not to be high, but to be more relaxed, and CBD works for me. So it just depends on what the individual, what it does for them, you know?
Well, I'm going to share with the listening audience a little bit. I love my child, and to see her suffering from anxiety and nervousness and things of that nature is very, very heart wrenching. And not being able to do anything is also heart wrenching. Tameka, when you were having most of your trouble or your disorder or your symptoms or whatever you want to call it, your anxiety, I guess that's the right word for it, you became a more aggressive person. You were able to do twice the things of a normal person.
Yeah.
As opposed to being lethargic, you like you were on the upper. Is that normal?
It is normal. So a lot of times, what they call it is manic. So you have your manic occasions where, for me, I stay up days at a time. I go to work. I worked in the restaurant industry at the time, just recently, and so it was like they probably thought I was on some type of drug, but I really was just up. Like I'd be up for 2 days and go to sleep for 3 or 4 hours, and then I'd be up again. And I would get so many of my tasks done. I'd meet all the deadlines. I'd get all this stuff done. But I would be wore out. When it starts to wear off, it really takes everything that you have out of you. You feel depleted at the end of it all. So it is not healthy. I remember when I was in Atlanta, I think it was 2012. I was up for 3 days straight. I was hallucinating. Like I actually was on the bed crying to my sister Toya because they would explain to me the things that I was doing and saying, and I wouldn't remember. I had no idea what they were talking about. But I know that I hadn't been asleep for days. At that time, I didn't know how many days it was.
So you actually literally not sleep for days?
Yeah, I didn't sleep for 3 days. And so there were things that were happening, voices that were taking place, physical, they weren't physical people there, but it was in my mind. So that was when I knew that I needed to go find out what was wrong with me and get some help. Because what happens, people will say a lot, oh, that's just how Tameka is, or that's how Betty is. Well, in reality, there's a reason for people, even young children, to have these different behaviors. And so instead of just saying that's how someone is, try to find out the reasons, because there's much more to it than that. And I think the sooner you find out, the better you are, so that they can get the treatment and live healthy lives. To your question, we go to work, we do everything. It's like, not to compare it to a functioning alcoholic, but it's what you mentioned. People can be on drugs, they can have all these addictions and live the best life that they can, right? At least on the surface, on the outside. And that's the same thing with us, those who have a diagnosis.
Wow, wow. Well, I know that the families are involved a great deal. Do you think the condition is genetic, or you think mental illness is environmental induced? What do you think the source of that comes from?
I think it's both. I think for me, I think I inherited it. I do believe that. The beauty of that is that I was able to see some people really close in my family as I was growing up with the same diagnosis that I have now. So I know what it looks like. I know from one extreme when you do not get any help versus when you do. I think it's the hardest part is that families do not understand, and they're not. I think that they can be more supportive, but a lot of times they don't know what to do.
Right, right. And it doesn't appear that when you're having an anxiety moment that you want to listen to anyone's suggestion, which we will make a suggestion which we think is the best thing for you, but it doesn't seem that those suggestions fall well. Because normally they always surround, well, you need to take your medication. Mm-hmm. You need to get on medication and stay on medication.
You need to stop drinking vodka.
You need to stop drinking.
Yeah, that was the thing that you and my mom would always say, like, Mika, you can take your medication, but you probably need to stop drinking vodka. Right. Because I would drink a lot of vodka because it would let me pass out. So it was so that I could go to sleep.
Wow.
Like, remember, you and I were in Memphis. We were somewhere and we were driving around. We went to GNCs. We took all these natural things. And you were like, you're still not asleep, and nothing was working.
Right.
But if I drank a bunch of vodka, I would sleep so peacefully.
That kettle, you kept that kettle warm.
And you know what I like. So, yeah. And it's not good, though. It's not healthy. You cannot take certain medications and have alcohol at the same time. Wow. It's a very dangerous thing to do. So I know you shouldn't. So at that time when I would be drinking all this vodka, I wasn't taking my medicine because I didn't want to kill myself. You know what I mean?
Right. Wow, that's interesting. So you have to try and find a way to go to sleep, and you found that alcohol or vodka was the best support to be able to go to sleep.
Yeah, because all the medications they gave me, they were giving me a bunch of stuff to sleep. It wasn't working. And over-the-counter pills, Tylenol, snooze, whatever that stuff is called, man, that was a joke. Mm-hmm. It didn't work at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know one thing. I know that Tameka is talented. She's a brilliant person. She's got, I think the biggest problem with it is that she won't slow down. She goes at things in a way that most people don't. Her work ethic is amazing, and her expectations for others when she's in the work environment is just...
It's hard.
It's over the top.
It's hard for them. As a manager in both retail and restaurant industries, first of all, I'm a type A person, so I like things how I like them. I'm a very, I guess in California, being in corporate America, it taught us about structure and how important that is, so... That's what I've carried on in my life. And so for some people, a lot of people in Mississippi would say, I can't stand working with her. Even on certain things that you and I've worked together, they're like, oh my God, Tameka, she's going to get the results, but she wants it the way she does. And I realized that isn't my character. That is how I am. And I've tried to scale back from it, but it's hard to be who you are.
So naturally, if you're a type A person, and then you have an anxiety moment on top of that, then it really takes you over the top, and you want to get everything done immediately. And there's nothing that you don't think you can't do. It appears that you, at that moment, if you wanted to fly, you could fly.
Yeah, and luckily I haven't tried that. I haven't wanted to do that. But one thing, too, is that what I realized, and this was a little bit later, is that I pile so much stuff on my plate, and then I have this rush to get everything done, and I'm overwhelmed by a project or an event that I've planned that I have to get these things done. But I'm the one who did that to myself, because if my plate isn't overflowing with stuff to do, I always felt like I wasn't doing enough.
Mm-hmm. And so I know that you have a career in event planning.
I'm a certified event planner.
Yeah. Okay. How did you get into that?
Actually, doing family stuff in California, and then in here. And then when I got into it, really was after your, 65th birthday party at your house?
Yeah. That's been just a year or so ago, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit over a year or so. So I got into it from that. And then when I looked at the job descriptions and, everything that I've done in HR and operations, it was a no-brainer. And I love having events, and I love having parties and trying to, whatever someone else comes up with, bring their vision to life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen your work, and I thought the name of your company was an amazing name. I don't know where you got that from, but I think it's called Another Family Gathering.
It is, yeah.
And then I also think you were founder of Stilettos on the Pavement.
Yeah, which is very well. It's doing very good.
Those are two outstanding names for entities that you've started and continue to nourish. How's the work in that area with those companies going? And tell us a little bit about Stilettos on the Pavement and what it's designed to do.
Okay, so that was it was created when I lived here. We were working with construction and program management, and every day I heard boots on the ground and how wonderful men were, and I thought, oh, okay. But then I was meeting these incredible powerhouses. I'm talking about women that were making decisions, and being very effective and productive in their line of work, from being in politics, working with the churches, being in corporate America, just doing a different thing. And so I began to pray about how can I bring these women together so that they are collaborating and not competing with one another, but shining the light on us and talking about how much we as business women and entrepreneurs have in common. And so giving us a platform to celebrate each other and ourselves. And it started, and it just really, I was like, oh my gosh, it just took off. So the first one, I would have speakers, and I would have a full course meal. That was the first one. And I'd have a bar, things like that. But I also realized that when you get into a space, though, the individuals have to be, confident. Women have to be confident within themselves, because if they are not, it's hard for them to recognize and celebrate someone else if they think so less of themselves. Wow. So that was a quarterly event that I would do here, and then we branched out and I did it in Georgia as well, and then I had one while I was living in Texas, which was very successful. And due to COVID, it's a little bit more challenging because it is a face-to-face thing. Yeah. We have speakers, but we don't have speakers where they're talking for like 30 and 40 minutes, because I get bored very easily. So I wanted it to be something that's fast. It's kind of like it's like how you have speed dating. It's more like speed building relationships. So I would make it really quick and very interactive. And so once we get past the next couple of months, I'll probably do the next one in Georgia.
I think I attended one of your sessions where you had, at that time, a candidate for the governor of the state of Mississippi, Jim Hood, attend one of your events as well.
Yeah, so that was not my event. That was Janitra Robinson with the teachers. Oh, she's going to kill me. But it's the teachers union, right? So she had something, except this year, I'm not sure if they're doing it, but she had something for mental health awareness, and she asked him to come.
Why did she ask the governor candidate to come? Does the elected officials need to be educated about mental illness?
So one, yes, they do. Two, he has a task force, and I was a part of his task force, a mental health task force. So he was trying to get people together that are in the industry and those who experience it firsthand, so that we are working together to get the word out in our communities for resources, because there's so many resources and so many programs and so many hotlines that people are unaware of. And so it needs to be discussed more and more. It's easy to get somebody to come to a fashion show or come listen to a panel for, the city council or the mayor when those elections come up. It's a little bit easier to come get them to do that. But when you talk about mental health, it's very challenging. People don't want to come and hear about that when they should.
Well, I think they should as well, because quite frankly, a large segment, a portion of crime that we have in our cities are direct results of mental illness, or people that are crying out and they really have nowhere to go. And I know that the state of Mississippi has not funded mental illness in a way that it normally had. How state hospitals are not as active as they used to be, or there seems to be a certain type of trend for have care centers inside of communities, et cetera, as opposed to a state-controlled environment for some. So it needs more finance put in that area at both the local levels and the state levels. I think you would agree.
I would agree. I also believe that it needs more training across the board for when you come into contact with the individuals experiencing, their episodes, if you will.
Yeah, especially for our police force.
Yeah, definitely them. I mean, even the fire department. And I would go so as far as I was at Merritt Hospital. This is like no secret, if it helps somebody. But I was in Merritt Hospital and I was there for 7 days, right? And the young lady, a couple of the workers there, the way they treated us in there was just, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you're supposed to be helping people here, but you're worried about, you're judging them based on their appearance and things like that, and so some of the stuff that they tell people there, I don't know how they get away with it. I really don't. So when I say training, definitely the police department, but even the people who are working every day in the healthcare, working with individuals such as myself, there's still a way to treat us. We are human, and this is something that you cannot control.
Right,
you did not ask for, but you signed up to help people. So it is not your job to be judgmental.
Right. You're in the wrong profession.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, Tameka, it's always good talking to you. What's going on in Atlanta? You guys turned the world upside down with Stacey Abrams over there.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
yes.
How did y'all do that?
You know what?
I mean, control the U.S. Senate.
Yeah, she did. I was just in transition going back and forth. So I was in the end part of it all. But she did a phenomenal job. I was so proud of her, even though I don't know the whole backstory of Stacey, but just for her to get everybody to come together, and she was out there every single day. Even I've got my text messages. I'm talking about we were inundated with text messages. Have you voted? Have you told a friend? Can you come to this free concert? Have you signed up? They were really like a grassroots approach to it.
Wow. I think she graduated from Tougaloo College right here in
Did she now?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. You better double check
Yeah,
that.
I'm going to check that.
Mississippi keeps producing winners.
Go
I can tell you that now.
Mississippi.
So she's done an outstanding job. Do you see anything in her future in terms of elected office?
I'm sure that was a platform to help her, whatever her plan is. And I just hope that whatever she decides to do, run for something, and I'm sure she will, that she wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, women now are empowered. It goes without saying, those of us that are older, like myself, we came up through a chauvinistic environment, and we didn't have all of the sensitivities maybe that was required at that time, because women, quite frankly, were underpaid and they didn't get the opportunities that men got. And maybe they still don't. I don't know, but I
they
think,
don't.
But I think there's been some marked improvement in that arena.
But that's just like, and I'll use Mississippi as an example. That's like racism. It's not what it was in the 50s and 60s, but we still got a long way to go. Okay. So yeah, you guys are giving women a little bit more credit, but we're still not getting paid. We're not getting equally paid. We're not getting recognized. So we've got a long way to go.
Wow. Well, do you think with having a African American female as the vice president of the United States of America will make a difference?
I think so. I hope and I pray so. And you said vice president, and I'm thinking like within this next 4 years, that she'll be the president.
Wow, I hope not.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, Biden is, what he is, but I don't know if he's up for the task for 4 years, health-wise and everything. But, I
if
hope
he
so.
stay away from that dog major that's pulling him around.
That or the steps at the going to the plane.
Oh, yeah. I heard someone say something that he had a little fall.
Yeah, he had two in a row, like fell, then got up, then fell again. So but he was a trooper. He got up, rubbed his
Yeah.
knee off, shook it
Yeah.
off, and went on in.
Yeah, we're praying for him.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's a tough job, and you got to be fit for it, both physically and mentally, and you have to be have the right mentality, because to have that much power, we experienced that power in our last president. I forget his name, Trump. And so, you can't put that much power in people's hands that are not stable in terms of the right temperament. It creates world problems.
It does, but that's a lot of those problems were no surprise. I mean, it was shortly after he was elected as the president. We knew what what he stood for. We knew about some of his morals. We knew who he was.
Yeah.
But, he did get voted into that position, and then look what happened in the end.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Had a few walls got scaled, to tell me, huh?
Yeah.
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 Tameka, it's always good,
to see you.
chatting with you. It's good to see you. I am just so proud of you and what you do and how you carry yourself and who you are. And
you look into that camera and say that one more time? I'm just kidding. Thanks.
And so it's been great having you here. So I'm gonna close out on another note, but just feel free to interrupt or chime in anytime you feel like it.
Okay, well, let me just say this.
Okay,
this
go ahead.
coffee, this Earthman coffee, is a delicious blend of beans. You guys have really got something. And I drink coffee like all day. So if it's in the morning, if it's the afternoon. If you guys haven't ordered your Earthman coffee, do so now. I believe on the screen I saw you can get a bag for just $9.99. They'll deliver it to you, or you can get it, door-to-door service. They'll mail it to you. So it's great coffee. You should really try it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I couldn't have said that better. We really appreciate all of our supporters. We hope that you can see the effort that we're putting into the development of the production studio, the kind of quality and the kind of people that we're associating with and bringing to this effort is just amazing. I watched us grow in the last 30 days just at a tremendous rate. And I want to give a shout out to Cedric Jenkins, who is our producer, and the quality of work that he has done and continues to do in this community is just amazing. The guy has done some really great commercials and productions and knows his craft. And if you have any needs for that kind of services, feel free to reach out to us here at WeBelieveDigital.com and let us provide that service for you. I'm surrounded with great talent, and we have to give that talent the platform to flourish, to demonstrate their crafts, and to push their talent forward. And that's one of the things that I try and do as a business person, is give as many folk opportunities to develop their skills in business as I possibly can. I've done that for the last 40 years. I can't tell you the number of businesses that we have trained and provided mentorship to and finance to help them get going and help them become a good corporate citizen. It's what we do here at Garrett Enterprises. And the role of the media will continue to be important to us. We look forward to introducing the Mississippi Link in this environment very, very shortly. The publisher over there, Jackie Hampton, knows that she has to hit this mic very, very soon. Mississippi Link is a 26, 27-year-old publication, African-American owned, started right here in Jackson, Mississippi, and continues to do great work. So we look forward to them joining us. I want to thank Pastor Stuckey for the great show that he had on Monday night. And his audience is growing, and we appreciate that. We want to say hello to Pastor Pickett, who had his show here at We Believe. Pastor Bishop Ronnie Crudup has had his show here at We Believe. And I'm looking forward to you, Pastor Jenkins, I need to hear from you. And Pastor Blunt, I need to hear from you. Pastor Sutton, I need to hear from you. We have the platform. We have the quality that you're looking for. WeBelieveDigital.com is an African-American owned platform that will house all of your content. And you'll be able to look at that content on demand. You'll be able to follow us live. Go to it and you'll see our live presentation as we are live right now on WeBelieveDigital.com. Don't forget to order Earth Blend Coffee. Go to earthblendcoffee.co. earthblendcoffee.co. Thank all of you that have ordered the coffee, and we look forward to your continued support. Until we meet again next week, good Lord willing, Tameka, you have any final words you want to say?
No, just ask you guys to share. I mean, you know how people find out about what's going on social media is that you share this on your platform, on your Facebook Live, so that other people can see us, and also on Instagram and all of that. So the more people share, their viewers will go up. And it's a great place. And, you know, I'm very excited about people learning more about positive things that's happening in Mississippi.
Wonderful, wonderful. And if you want your own show, if you want to do your own podcast show,
move it out of your living room.
Come in and have it professionally done. We are broadcasting worldwide, all over the world. So this is a place where you can be discovered. This is a place where your message can get out and be heard. The rates are phenomenally low. And sometimes there's no rate at all. So give us a call, come see us, order the coffee, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
I'm sorry. You're saying give us a call. Who are they calling?
Earth Blend Coffee. The number is running on your screen, 601-368-8477. So you see the number on your screen. Go to earthblendcoffee.co. Order the coffee by telephone, by email, or on the website, and we'll deliver it directly to your door. Thanks again until we see you next week.
Be blessed.
Night.